Alrighty, I want to do a quick update since I did change the starter code a little bit and kind of clarify a couple things. So first things first, when you log in and start this project there, obviously read over all the directions. And I still have people that are unable to do this top part. This needs to be your standard go-to. I need to know whose code I am grading. Now, this code looks a little complicated because there's a lot of starter code information. Not to worry, because I'm just going to walk you through what you need to do. Real quickly, I'm getting a little bit fancier with the code right off the bat because we're going to be learning this down the line, and the more you see it, the more you're going to be accustomed to seeing what is what in the code. So obviously you're not going to be making any modifications and changes in this particular area. And what I'm doing is, it's a little bit early to introduce to you what the purpose of functions are, but I have things that are outlined, and you're going to be coding specific areas for specific functions. So we have basically two functions that you're going to be writing code to. Now, let's go back up here, and what you're going to be doing is creating player stats. So you're going to have basically player name, league, and minimum of 4 stats. So you're going to be creating variables for those, and you're going to include those variables over here. So that's basically 6 lines of code that you're going to have right there. So that's not a lot of lines of code to start off with. Next thing you're going to do is then you're going to create basically the print statements to display those particular variables. Now you're going to write those print statements under the message function, and please note this, right? I have it there so my code executes correctly with no errors. So when I have no code underneath here, what is a good best practice is utilize the keyword pass, and we'll get into that more as we get into some more advanced programming. But it's there to basically be a placeholder to make sure that this function is going to work correctly, even though there is no significant amount of code there. So basically what you're going to do in this particular area is you are going to write the code to basically display the variables. So looking at the section here, we want to look at the code. Alright, so here we're going to write all the print statements for the variables, and that basically is going to look something like this. So basically you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines of code over here, 9 different print statements, because you want to make sure that you include the header portion, and then these are your variables that you're printing out over here. So that's 9 lines of code. So that's 15 lines of code that you need to do for this particular program. Now for the challenge code, it's actually pretty easy. And if we take a look what the requirements are for the challenge code, you're going to create 2 more variables of player stats. So you're going to add 2 more lines of code for here for the variable section. So 2 more variables. And then what you're going to do then is you're going to print out those variables here. So I have the challenge code, and you're going to print out basically right here additional player stats, and you're going to write 2 more print statements over here to display those stats. And then the other part is we talked about in previous readings that you should have done, and you are going to display the variable data types utilizing f strings, and that is going to go right here in this one. So an example of this is basically what I have right here, that you're going to create the data types here. So for the league, player name, games played, total amount of points, rebounds, and assists. So these are not print statements that are you're just printing out this. This is basically utilizing the type function, built-in function called type, to identify what the variable is. So do not create a print statement that includes this particular wording. you're going to be utilizing type. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you haven't read the information or seen the information from the earlier lessons. So that's about it for this particular code. So there's nothing super duper fancy on this part. And that's pretty much it. Any questions, just let me know.